We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello. How's everybody doing out there on a Thursday? Been a really nice week. I've had off. I've gotten a lot done. I haven't uploaded much video because I want to give you guys good content. I have most of it edited. I want to do two endings to the video. I have a Fox Body video that I want to do an ending, and it's probably going to be a dig run, a dig run quarter mile with a draggy, and did some work on the ZR1, and I want to do an updated 60 to 130, maybe a dig run with that, but I just don't think it's going to hook in first and second with the current tire setup. So I want to get those and probably get those up tomorrow and Saturday, get you guys two videos for the weekend before we do peasant chat stuff. So today, what we're going to talk about is more EPA stuff. PFI Speed released a video recently that they gave you an update as to what's going on with the EPA and their case. Now, unfortunately, Brent, look, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a real difficult video to watch because he doesn't have a laser-like focus and an overall game plan as to how the video is going to go about. But the gist of the video was shit's still going down and we got to get together and blah, 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 blah. And look, we've been talking about that nonstop. But there was something in that video specifically that I want to talk about. Then I want to talk about what's happening with the EPA recently. Then I want to talk about what's going to happen. There's a bunch of EPA stuff that is happening in terms of the background, in my opinion, and not directly with the EPA, but people associated with the EPA, and I think it's interesting to talk about. But before we do that, as always, I want to thank the sponsors that make the show work, make the disco ball turn, the people that make it happen. That's right, exactly. We got PMAS. Nick James, PMAS, up in Michigan. Probably still freezing. It was 80 degrees here in Florida today. Guys, plan to move. Stop living up there. PMAS, thank you very much for being a sponsor. Two Auto Solutions, Rami's out on. Help me today figure out that the spark plugs for a GT500 are the same spark plugs for the ZR1. Crazy shit. Thank you, Rami, for that and for sponsoring the show. The Parts Farm, partsfarm.com has been buying notchbacks left and right. They bought a notch, clean Survivor notch, so he's going to do some work to it, and hopefully we can see it out and about or part it out. Who the fuck knows? The partsfarm.com. Doma got cookies. Melissa working on her shoulder. So it'll be Lake's lotion that you're smelling on the cookies. So hopefully you guys smell some man in your cookies. DomaGotCookies.com. And Calamer, Ben Calamer and Calamer's Transmission, they're taking the next couple of days off. They're going to be off the next couple of days, and they're going to be back in action on Tuesday, I believe. They're going to take up until Tuesday. They're going to take off. So thank you very much for being sponsored to the show. I appreciate you. And of course, DNA High Performance is also a sponsor, mostly for the Tuesday show. But I want to highlight them as much as possible because they're paying and they want to get their name out there. And I appreciate them very much. Say hi to the people. We'll talk about the EPA stuff. Mini Bike Madman, Oliver Bryan, Anthony. But the EPA works very closely with NASCAR. YouTube Corrupt says, good evening, Diego Flores, JD Swag, Anthony. Every parts company is going to have a SEMA approved sticker on their product. Anthony, you're going down the right path. I like it. Fresh Pastelazo, Darren Harper, EPA's in the house. JD Swag, Chris Callan, spamming the chat. Innocent New Age, The Wolf, more pubes, more booze. Douche Did Joe Mendoza, Brandon Denton. That sounds familiar. Trevor Pence, Killa, D&G, Brandon. What's up, brother? How's everything doing, man? Hopefully you're doing well. Money Rogers, Angel Puerto Rico, Bill Morrison, Ron Lowenberg, JD Swag, HDFU grad, Diego Tito, Gregory Utvich, White Bat, Valley 10 Speed finally got his 10R stager and Wapbox, good for him. Dustin 10R, you got to do the same thing unless you're selling your car if you want to go get into the 8s in the quarter mile, in my opinion. Jason Ked, Nitrous and Bias Plies, Second Shift Racing, Patrick, Large Macchiato, Ashton CS, 197. Heath S2R, Two Valve Angel, Stoop Kid, Carolina Squid, Ron Lowenberg, Hatch, Chris Callan, Jose Sanchez, Two Valve Angel, Thunder Biscuit, John DiNapoli, Melissa with the shoulder. John Lund became a member. Whoa. Look, you paid me enough. You don't have to do anything, but I should have just made him a mod so he can actually join without paying. Chase says, can't hang around. There's a line I'll watch. Here's a line I'll watch later. Appreciate that. Chris Mod Stewart Garage Built. John Lund says hello after becoming a member. Thank you. Appreciate that. Butcher Harley Taquachemo. Dustin Tenar says car's gone, Alex. Time to get rowdy in an old car. Good for you. Look, I've thought about selling my white car many times, but I feel I owe ESS more. But $35,000, that car can be gone, bro. Fuck it. John says, sorry, Alex, not sorry. Ron Lohenberg and Just the Guy 69. Okay, so let's talk about it. So Brent at PFI Speed seems to be a really nice guy. Hold on. Alex, you know the S550 that beat the Plaid from a dig on TRC last video? It's not cool. Just curious what's done to it to beat a Plaid. Guys, all you need is about 1,000 horsepower and an auto with sticky tires to beat a Plaid. It's not that difficult. So PFI Speed put out a video talking about his recent dealings with the EPA. And he actually reached out to, if I'm not mistaken, an EPA lawyer. Oh, I'm sorry. Correction. Sema lawyer. I don't know his name, but he recorded his phone conversation. In the phone conversation, the lawyer said something so telling to me that made me go, wait a minute. So when you think of CARB EO, a CARB EO is, let me see, CARB, California. It's California Air Resources Board. So when you get a CARB EO number, it's for California. Now, there's a lot of states that basically piggyback off of CARB to make it their standard for emissions compliance and emissions testing and all that other jazz. But in the conversation that PFI had with the lawyer for SEMA said, there's another path. And it is the SEMA program. And I went, so let me get this straight. SEMA, you're telling me that if we all get together and comply through you, that we can then do what we've been doing all along without any intervention from the government? Or is it only through you and approved by you? Let's say I have a diesel truck, and let's say I have a diesel truck shop, SEMA, and I want to make these diesel trucks race trucks, and I want to take off the particulate filter, tune them, make a shitload of power, and race the trucks. Will SEMA allow that? Or will they say, oh, well, wait a minute. Wait. No, that's crazy. So listen to his words, not mine. Again, listen to his words and not mine. Guys, one thing I really want you guys to do on this chat is become critical thinkers. A lot of you are with it. That's why I kept it a members only chat, because we want to take the riffraff dumbasses out of this situation. Become critical thinkers. Why is SEMA now telling Brent from PFI Speed to go through a completely different program that isn't CARB-EO so that he can stay in business doing what he loves? Like, the guy is passionate. But let's just hear what the lawyer has to say, use his words, and then we'll talk about what I think that means in my most humble of opinions. So check this out. Listen closely.
And trying to get through our case. Attorney stuff and attorney fees, it definitely was more than the fine was, but if I had signed that piece of paper back a year ago.
Another one here. There it is.
Really kind of wondered about too was if the EO number deal is going to be like if it's going to work federally, or if it's just a California deal, or
it is California. And
he asked if the CARB-EO deal is going to work federally, or is it a California deal?
Or if it's just a California deal, or
it is California, and we are minimizing that. That's why we rolled out SEMA certified. But if you know folks, Brent, if you're talking.
Oh, did you catch that? That's why we rolled out SEMA certified.
That's why we rolled out SEMA certified. But if you know folks, Brent, if you're talking to folks out there, you should tell them that there is now another path. It's not, you don't have to just get an EO. There is another path to legitimate sales. That is the SEMA program. And I'm not saying that to be, self-promotion for SEMA, but it really, that we did it as an industry benefit. This is for our members.
So If you're a SEMA member and you don't want to go the CARB EO route, then you're, I don't know, okay? Like, is it cool? Like, can we just roll coal? Like, please elaborate on that. Unfortunately, in that video, he did not elaborate on that. And you know what that means to me? Jesus Christ, Senior, are you giving me $100? What the hell's wrong? I appreciate that. Jesus Christ. Thank you. You got to understand, that sounds like to me that they're the government's agent. That sounds like to me that they're the government's representative. That does not sound like they're on our side. That sounds to me that they're trying to make money off this situation. We rolled out the SEMA certified program for SEMA members. Oh, got it. So only if we become a member can you then protect us from the government. Okay, so I have questions. Can I tune a car with catless exhaust to go racing? Can I tune a truck with DPF delete to go racing? Can I tune on E85? Can I tune cars that do drag and drive events? Do you support drag and drive events, SEMA? Do you support drag and drive events even though cars that were made after the Clean Air Act was passed primarily run in those events? Oh, no? See, I have so many questions, and Brent is in a completely different zone, right? He is fighting for his career. He will not have a job. He has reorganized, so according to him, his business model in order to stay afloat. He used to be just getting tunes, Honda, and the dude ain't rolling in dough. The guy looks like a blue collar dude. The guy looks like he's just trying to make some money. And he like has kids, and he's like, look, I don't even know where the fuck that enthusiasm comes from, because racing fucking sucks and people suck. But good for him that he enjoys the racing aspect and passing it on to his kids. Oh, look at John Lund. John Lund's in a similar boat. He wants to pass this on to his kids. And John Lund has 3 grandsons that are into this shit. So what is their future going to be like? What is that going to look like? Can he pass on this juggernaut of a business to his son, and his son pass it down to his sons, have some kind of legacy behind something? We don't know, because now we have to have permission from SEMA. We have to have permission from SEMA to work. Why? And is there another alternative, SEMA? Hey, SEMA, is there another alternative? Is there anybody else that's willing to facilitate us staying in business, maybe having some kind of registry or whatever? Or are you working to basically say, well, you can only go through us if you become a member? And then are there limitations on what we can do based on what you say? I don't want to be ruled by any organization close to government. And someone said this is exactly like the NRA shit. And now I'm not well versed on the gun stuff, but from what I've heard, it seems similar. So what's going to happen? SEMA, people are going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway. Whether they're protected by you or not. If you're going to limit what they can do as a business, that's something that they've been doing for probably 20 plus years. Because we're now 11 years deep into Coyote, and since 2 valves have been around, we're probably 20 years. And people have been tuning those with the chips, proms, and now we've gone from SETX 1, 2, 3, 4, MPVI 1, 2, 3, 88, 3, 5, 6, 28, and 40, and Engage, and all this other stuff. And you're telling me that now SEMA is going to help you out. It's going to help a brother out. Man, you got to talk to the folks out there, Brent, because we rolled out SEMA certified, not to be self-serving or anything, but we rolled out SEMA certified, and that's another path. I need details on that path. So, okay, can we do whatever the fuck we want as long as we are SEMA certified? Or will the government say, well, you can't do shit, and the shit you can do is extremely limited, and it's limited and legal if you're only a SEMA member? That sounds like horse shit. But maybe that's what we're going to have to deal with, is horse shit. Now, not to get political, but this is a left-wing thing. Not 100%. There's some right-wing pieces of shit like, not right-wing, Republican in name only. Pieces of shit like Mitt Romney, like the guy with the patch, fucking clown. I don't care that you lost an eyeball in war. If you act like a clown, that shit is only going to get you so much sympathy. But it's primarily a left-wing issue. Now, I thought to myself, okay, this is all in an effort to lower emissions from carbon emissions from the air in the United States. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a whole nother fucking planet out there. Now, I have a link in the description to this webpage, and it is very good, and it is interactive. So here on the left, you can type in the consumption and the actual, the consumption of fuel or the transfer of said gases, gas, oil, coal, gas flaring, cement, whatever that means. But the funny thing is, this is 2015. This is when the EPA got a hair up its ass on going ape shit. Okay, they started going ape shit. Keep an eye over here in this thing called China. So since 2015, that one grows, that one grows, that one grows. Well, you know, there's another one that grows up in that time frame, right here. Iran and Saudi Arabia. They just keep growing and growing and growing, while the U.S. primarily stays the same. Look at the year 2014, 20. So let's see. Okay, 2007, let's say 2009. Remember, in 2015 is when Sema got a hair up its ass. Look at this. China, chilling. And in 2022, they grew. This motherfucker can shut off in the United States, and we would affect the world fuck all. I don't understand what leftists and environmentalists don't understand about this very simple problem. That no matter what the fuck we do here, all these motherfuckers are gonna do their thing. And collectively, just in this chunk right here, Russia, China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, India, and a couple of others, Canada, Mexico, well, they'll probably join. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want. They're going to keep spewing shit. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want. Oil. Boom. Look at that. Let's look at oil since 2008. Hell, let's go back to the fucking 1994, right? We are the same. We have not. So 228 metric, 228. Let's see 10 years, 2004. 264 or 2644. Let's go back. 2228, 2300, 2200. So we've lowered it. But look at China. China goes from 659 to 1713. And then India goes from 263 to 622. So these two guys right here are going to keep growing. And we're going to keep reducing everything. And we're going to choke our economy. We're going to choke our ability to earn money. We're going to choke our industries. We're going to choke our factories. We're going to choke. For what? So that the U.S. ends up being weaker in the long run. And the EPA will sit there looking at you in the eye sockets and say, we're doing this to better the world. Last time I checked, the whole fucking world isn't the United States. But they will look you in the fucking eyeballs and tell you they're doing this for the greater good. Meanwhile, China, Indonesia, India, Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, all these, most of Germany, most of France, they do whatever the fuck they want. So there has to be a completely different agenda here, in my opinion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make fucking sense, the shit they're doing at all. Make it make sense to me, EPA. That map shows me that the rest of the world gives two fucking shits about what happens with the EPA and emissions in general, because the rest of the world is just going to keep emitting and polluting, and we're going to not do that, and we're going to eventually just fucking go into a spiral because of government choking off industry. And it blows my mind. So that's why I think we shouldn't comply. The way I look at it is we shouldn't comply. But who's going to be the martyr? Who is going to be that person that says, I'm going to fall on the sword and I'm going to die for this? Do you think anybody in the industry likes each other enough to come together and have a rally, and have a rally that isn't full of retards? Why in the hell did Sema and PRI bring in Richard Petty and Antron Brown? They are not in the industry that the EPA is trying to regulate. Do you really think Richard Petty is in the tuning game? Do you really think Antron Brown knows anything about what E85 does to a Mustang? What cat on, cat off with E85 in terms of CO emissions? No. And the biggest elephant in the room is diesel. Right? That is the biggest elephant in the room. They're going to regulate the shit out of that, but they need it for the trucking industry and long haul stuff. And that is the biggest elephant in the room. Do you then say diesel and gas is the same thing? Because it's not. Sorry, if I'm gonna, I'm sorry, I have to be the bearer of bad news. But when guys take off particulate filters and roll coal, how the fuck does that have anything to do with an E85 equipped Mustang? That's and that's why this industry will never come together and have a kumbaya moment and a come to Jesus moment unless there's literally a martyr that loses everything, loses his shit, and either goes bankrupt or fucking dies for the cause. I just don't think it's going to happen. So we either have to not comply. Hopefully Congress throttles back all of the money. Vote every motherfucker out. I hate to be political, but at the end of the day, complying with SEMA is just making SEMA's pockets fatter. And we're still going to be limited in what we can do, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the fuck we do. The rest of the world's going to do what they do and pollute. And no matter what we do, it's not going to affect the outcome in a big way. What do you think? I'm full of shit. Do I have a point with the whole SEMA situation? Is it fucked up? Will we come together and have a rally and overcome this? I'm a pessimist when it comes to this. When it comes to this particular subject, I'm a pessimist. I think it's a no-win situation unless Congress and Senate flips to a conservative or libertarian party. Is it really Lund, says John Lund. John here to find out why companies keep saying Alex is ruining their sales in OPGs. Sales and support from my Northeast born Puerto Rican friend, Meatbag Badman. I want to see that race in the wet too. Dig race in the wet. Let's go Plaid. And again, John gave me the money. Can you roll code with the SEMA sticker? Ah, very good. I love it. Pay an entity that has no jurisdictional power. So SEMA, I'm talking to you directly. If I become a member, can I do what I do now without having the EPA breathe down my neck? SEMA wants to funnel money. Sounds like it. So EPA is holding SEMA's pocket around the prison yard. Exactly. Yeah, if we pay an extra fee when we do our yearly registration and do whatever we want with our cars, that would be awesome. Me too. But I just don't think that's going to happen. Money makes the world go round. Hey, didn't have a smile on his face. Join SEMA. Wow, a lot of comments. I'm sorry. I'm going to skip through a lot of the comments. I love you guys. Holy shit, a lot of stuff. EPA gave me money. Said, delete this SEMA certified thing from the live stream and we'll have no problems. Everybody trying to get the last buck out of an industry being threatened by the government. Derp. This may or not sound stupid, but it sounds like another way to extort shops and car builders. Again, just another cash grab. Sounds fishy to me. The SEMA police. I'm waiting on some Cooks FFE headers. Can I run them with... Wow, what a downer. Can I run them with no tune for a month or two until I get one? Yeah. Yep. Dang, Alex, powered by EPA. Why is SEMA private company making a regulation? The lawyer saying that sounded so... And sorry, lawyer, maybe you didn't mean for it to come across this way, but it sounded kind of slimy. Well, you know, the CARB-EO, because Brent wants to be able to say, my tunes are CARB certified. Well, that's only good for California and the states that adopt that. But the federal regulation is held up by the EPA. So CARB means fuck all. I don't understand why people are so hung up on CARB-EO shit. It's because they want to sell in California. Fuck California. Because if you don't sell in California, or let's say you get a CARB-EO number, and then you are certified and you go to, I don't know, Louisiana, and the EPA is like, oh, you're putting this CARB EO certed exhaust on a truck. That's a defeat device. What do you mean? Well, you have tampered with the exhaust and you've tuned the truck to take the exhaust, but it's CARB EO. I didn't touch the particulate filter. We don't care. It has to be as built from the factory, non-touched, bro. It's federal. So that's why Brent is going, wait a minute, does this CARB EO shit protect me federally? And the answer is no. The lawyer said, nah, it's just California. But if you want to become SEMA certified, just click this link. Fucking dumb. 60 in Ohio, winner having a stroke again. You can run them without a tune, Patrick. Okay. It's a money grab. My tune is a SEMA certified, right? Another case of pay X amount of dollars and you can do what you want, aka fine or a membership. I love the fact that SEMA is telling you, you can do what you want. You can do what we allow you to do in this industry if you pay us. Excuse me? What? Has it been made illegal to sell a pipe that bolts onto the exhaust? I'm not saying that, people like eBay and stuff like that take it off their website. What I'm saying is it illegal to sell a pipe that deletes your cap? And if so, show me the law that makes it illegal. Oh, Clean Air Act. It's a pipe. It's a pipe. Again, the gun argument does have some parallels. It does have some parallels. Slow99 says, SEMA misrepresented what all of us wanted on purpose so that they could profit from it. Screw SEMA forever. They're not our friend and never will be. They exist because of us, plain and simple. Our emissions are lower now than 1992. Look at that map. Told you guys the earth was flat. US has only a smitten of 500 million more tons than 1975. China's rocking FFE. So if SEMA is angling themselves to be the arbiter of, what can be done in the automotive aftermarket tuning-wise, not stance shit, suspension shit, and light shit like they do in their shows. SEMA's going to tell me what I can do and can't do tuning a car that the customer has modified. Oh, and by the way, those letters that are being sent to shops, did you see that individuals can be fined up to $5,000? How's that going to look? Now, unfortunately, politicians run that game. Cletus is going to find that out when he finds out that they're going to build houses around this shit anyway. No matter what he does, they're going to build houses around this shit. Why? Money. Or bad PR. So, if I was Cleet, I would be talking mad shit about the council people and get them voted out. If I was Cletus, I would say this. Lobby for people that are going to counteract or delay the building of that property as long as possible and go out of his way to do a big, let's just say, fundraiser for the opponents of everybody on that board that voted for the furthering of the process of the new community being built there. That's the way you do it. Going up there and having a 3-minute plea is not going to do shit. Going in the gutter, in the political gutter, to go in there and fundraise for the opponent of the people, and you tell that opponent, I got you in there, motherfucker. I got you in there. So you're going to fucking vote no, right? Because if you don't vote no, you see these photos of you fucking these hookers? They're going to become public. So you either play ball, bitch, and I'll get you elected, or there's going to be problems. That's politics 101, and that's how you got to play. So the only way you're going to get a politician to get after the EPA, like a Jim Jordan type, is if it's benefiting him politically to do so. And that's a very difficult task. You'll think all those Russian troop movers have cats. Straight facts. I believe I saw a video about emissions. Air travel produces tons more emissions than cars do, especially private air. Pay SEMA memberships and you can mod. Why is SEMA a private company setting regulations? Hey, you know what does really well with increased CO2 levels? Plants, the stuff we need to grow food. Being in California, bro, I know a lot of these types of people. None of them have been outside of the US. They'd rather discuss theories, aka hopes and dreams, and not actual facts. Follow the money. EPA says I'm trying. Now, someone was saying something about global warming and this and this and that. I'm not here to argue pro or against global warming. But last time I checked, a greenhouse effect, what's inside a greenhouse? Lush fucking plants. So when people talk about greenhouse gases, and I'm like, well, do you like plants? Well, no, the planet is a lot warmer. Really? Tell the people in Buffalo that. Alex, that's just a one-time thing. But it sure as fuck puts a dent in your narrative, doesn't it, dumbass? The Tesla Model 3 sold already offset all sports car race cars emissions for the last 3 years. Sports cars are less than 1% of total emissions. It's all about the money. Cat Williams said it best. There ain't nothing worse than a smart, dumb person. I just bought a Husqvarna 701 SM. Easy to run FFE on it. Cleater ain't gonna do it. I don't think he'll do it. No way. Grassroots. He's busy driving jet-powered tracks around Florida. It's Stang Mode. Stang Mode is that guy. The one he's talking about. Money, extortion, and control. The contradiction and misinformation discredits anything they say to try to defend themselves. See, I'm a nobody, but I know how to play the game. And, you know, unfortunately, well, this is going to be the problem with me, right? I can't be a proponent on our industry against Sema and against EPA or a spokesperson because of the YOLO douchebag stuff. It's really simple, guys. It's really simple. If I try to go out there and start talking all this shit, all they have to do is pull up the YOLO douchebag stuff and they go, this is the guy you want representing you? And I'm going to go, you have a point. So all I can do is talk about it. Talk about it. And they're going to say, well, you know, weren't you that guy calling people homos with Camaros? I'm like, I still call Camaro owners homos. That doesn't mean I'm wrong about this subject matter. But that's going to be the biggest issue. And unfortunately, the people that know the most about the subject have the most to lose. So I understand why they hesitate to fight, because they'd have to be willing to lose it all. Unfortunately, the people that have been affected by EPA raids, and we were raided, like legitimately raided with guns for computer shit. And they went in there, they're like, Nardi's there with his power fucking, his fucking protein shake. Brandon was sitting on his desk with nail clippings. Dakota was farting. And they're like, what the fuck are we raiding? They thought there was this juggernaut of a company just having a cat deletion factory in the back. And it's literally Cheryl, John, Jr., Brandon, Dakota, and Nardi just chilling there. Jet fuel, imagine. SEMA equals uniparty establishment politicians. Literally need a killdozer type motherfucker to stand up for the industry at this point. That's what I mean. And I'm not advocating for that, because then they'll say I am inciting violence. What I'm saying is there has to be a martyr in terms of, like, he has to be able to lose it all to show the people that what's happening. There is a huge gray area. There is no uniformity. The EPA is making it up as they go along. Has the EPA tested a race car, let's say a Mustang with E85, ID 1700s, 30 pounds of boost going down the track 6 times a weekend? That's it. Let's say 3 qualifying passes or 2 qualifying passes and 4 elimination passes. Okay. And then multiply that by the amount of cars that are at the track that day. Then you measure one plane taking off from Palm Beach International Raceway. Measure the emissions and tell me who emits the most. And I'd probably guess that the jet is either close or not that far off a whole weekend of a car racing. Well, it's just not the same thing. Okay, then let's do this. Let's take one day at the track and one day at the airport. Let's take one day at the track and one day at the airport. And you tell me, emissions-wise, who is the bigger culprit? Guys, when I go to Power by the Hour and I hear the sheriff's helicopter turn on, all I smell is kerosene for a long time. When a plane takes off and lands, all I smell is kerosene for a very long time, or jet fuel, whatever, avgas, whatever you want to call it. So let's do that. They won't do that, because then they'll be forced with the biggest hypocritical thing on the planet. Do we limit air travel or allow air travel and allow racing? Because you can't pick and choose the industries you want to kill. One of them is crucial, air travel. The other one is also crucial for business. You know how big the drag racing business is? If you were to take the people that make the headers, the turbos, the manufacturing, the welding, the gas, the tires, the wheels, the body parts, the tuning, put that all under one big massive umbrella. It is massive. Locomotives are diesel and there's no regulation on those engines and they're decades old. Sorry if I go off on a long rant, but I'm passionate about this subject matter, and the people that are the biggest, the people that are the most vocal about it aren't the best. They're not well versed. They're just not well versed, and they're not critical thinkers. They're not critical thinkers that they can counteract an argument with simple logic. And the problem is when it comes to politics, they'll phrase the questions in a certain way, so no matter how you answer it, it will be looked at as a bad thing. You never get a chance to ask the lawmaker a question. As a guy that's, let's say, on Capitol Hill, and you're a advocate for the racing industry, like an Antron Brown, why wasn't he allowed to ask questions about this and that? And the problem is, once you get a person that really knows what the fuck they're talking about, they'll back these guys in the corner, and the politicians, because they'll feel attacked or be made fun of or fools of, they'll vote against you because they have that power. It's super fucked up. I want to see them shove a big cat on top of a volcano. China gets off the hook for emissions because of the WTO-China agreement, and Clinton forced through. And all the government became zillionaires because of the single agreement. Bureaucrats get rich off of it. It's all agreed. Look at what Aramco is doing. So Saudi Arabia is actively paying people to misinform them about electric cars. Now, I get it. It is not a good thing that happens with the cobalt and the mining and some of the lithium stuff. I get it. But the vehicle itself, after it is on the road, it becomes not necessarily neutral, carbon neutral, but it definitely is better. And it uses more of the energy and is just more efficient. And I'm a big fan of efficiency, period. Now, Saudi Arabia is out there paying people and firms and government to potentially like, have you seen videos of people like, oh my God, I can't charge my Tesla under 10 degrees. Oh, okay. That one Tesla out of millions can't be charged. Your specific Tesla can't be charged because freezing rain. Do you know what? I couldn't get into my cars when freezing rain would hit. Forget charging. Forget putting gas in it. I couldn't get into my cars. And they sell these nice little things at Advanced Auto or and it's basically alcohol in a spray can. Stupid. Put it on there, opens the door, and it charges. But she had a charging issue. But anyway, why is that video viral? Critical thinking. Why is that video viral? But the video of full self-drive being super awesome everywhere isn't. The reach, the engagement, and how it gets spread and pushed and throttled or whatever is like an outside influence. And Saudi Arabia is going out there going, whoa, this is going to be a problem with this bullshit. I don't understand why people are buying cars that are more efficient, faster, good, more technologically advanced, and much better cars. We must pay money to firms to tell people they suck, and you cannot charge them under a certain temperature. So there is a push. So when you see something go viral, you're like, why is it viral? Like, start thinking. Don't just take it at face value. Will you ever take the 01 to the track or stick to the draggy? No. I definitely want to go to the track, but the problem is this, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Time. The track that I would go to is Orlando because it's the closest. And I'd have to trailer it there. And the F-150 I have is not a good vehicle to tow with. It tows pretty fucking terribly. And I'd love to take it to the track. I'd love to take it to the track as is. Hey, again, I did a spark plug change and oil change recently, and now it's starting to drive different. I found a vacuum hose that was loose. So I said, shit, was I tuning around a vacuum leak? So I'm going to take it back to the dyno, put the wideband back on it, and do some hits and make sure that it's fueling properly. Then we can talk about potentially taking it to the track. EPA must have FFE going straight into the office thinking the USA is going to save the world. John Lund says locomotives are nothing compared to a cruise ship. I agree. Holy shit. Do you see what the cruise ship industry emits? No? Imagine them having to report the emissions of a fucking cruise ship. The thing with air travel is they have money to grease that squeaky wheel. And military exception, and no one bats an eye. Sounds like a gateway to an endless corruption. How much are you willing to pay for a year to mod your car? 0.00. Suck my dick. I'll do it illegally. Patrick, hey, come talk to me about your FFE. That says EPA. Just waiting for feds to bust through the door on the live. What are they going to get? They're going to be like, what's up with the sombrero at the wine? Sounds like Sema's serving a lobbyist with EPA connections. Semafied. Right. So, okay, Sema, are you greasing the right motherfuckers? Can I go out there and tune without being fucked with if I pay your membership fee and I can do whatever the fuck I want? Or do I have to do whatever you allow me to do? I need specifics. And this lawyer needs to be talked to by me. I need to talk to you. Hey, tell me about the Sema certified program. And it has to be on the record. Like, you have to be on the record. And I need like legally binding speak coming from this lawyer. So when I say, do I have to, as a Sema member, go do what you allow or do what I want and you guys defend me against the EPA? Because that's the way I would do it. Hey, I would pay $300, $400, $500 a year or more if I was left alone. And the moment I got hit with a letter, I give it to the Sema rep and he goes and gets the hooker photos or Sema donates to his favorite charity to go the fuck away. I don't think that's what's happening. Whatever Callie says, do the opposite. Exactly. Sounds like the Sema wants to throw their hat into the ring of bureaucracy. Exactly. I think CARB supersedes federal emissions. No, it does not. It does not. He just said it's California in the phone call. And don't forget the informants among us. Oh, yes, trust no one. John Lund is 100% on the money. There are people in the industry that have popped up in names. Known people. You know them. I know them. And they are snitch-ass motherfuckers that, oh, we got caught. Like when what's his name, the rapper that recently got put on a RICO charge and Gunna got out and he was in court going, where the fuck Gunna at? Wait a minute. Where the fuck Gunna at? He's doing a record? What you mean he's doing a record? Damn. Homeboy talk. He put a statement out there. So what's happening is, because look, one thing I know about this industry, and John knows about this industry, it's full of pussies. No manly men. No, about that life. Full of pussies. That the moment they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, oh, I'll comply. I'll do whatever you want. Just let me operate. Bro, it is fucked up. So when they say, let's get together and have a rally with the snitches, I'm good. I have a welder and a plasma cutter. Let me show you what Turvey taught me. Can't wait for cars with SEMA certified stickers. Make SEMA certified go viral for awareness of this bullshit. Officer, I need your license, registration, insurance, SEMA certificate. So is SEMA certified CARBO on a federal level? That's what they're trying to say. Because that's the other alternative they're trying to push, according to that video that I saw with Brent. Let me hear some more about it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to figure out what it is we can sell, what we can do, where we'll be protected on that end without, having SWAT teams walk through the door. Because that's still always a scary thing, and a lot of guys have dealt with that. So
I know it's not a hypothetical; it is happening. That is,
yeah, and
you're absolutely right. And it shouldn't be. It should not be. It's wrong.
So what are you gonna do about it, lawyer? Give me specifics.
And it's just not in the news enough, and not enough people know this stuff's going on. You hear about it after the fact, or you hear about, I want to figure out how I can get people jazzed up, excited, or pissed and start really making some kind of difference.
Man, I love you, Brent. I don't know the industry that you're in, the Honda world. Maybe you guys are tighter knit than we are. but in the Mustang community specifically, it is fragmented. Everyone's a fucking homo. Everyone sucks whatever dick they need to suck. Everyone's a lying piece of shit. Everyone's a fucking cunt. So I don't know how it goes in the Honda world, but in what I know is it's super fucked up. Like, it's not even close. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with that whole situation. I feel for him because he seems like a nice guy, and he's not an asshole. And I'm not an asshole, but I speak asshole very well. I speak the language. So I'm more of a critical thinker that way. And I'm like, this lawyer is just jazzing your bullshit up. This lawyer to me sounds like just a self-serving motherfucker that's hearing your sympathetic ear. How much did he charge you for that phone call, Brent? Hey, Brent, was that lawyer your lawyer? Was that lawyer on retainer? Did that phone call cost you something? Shit. See the guy who... stop it. Ray, what are you doing? What are you doing, Ray? This is... What the hell? I'm selling my Model 3 Performance. Motherfucker left me stranded with a dead battery the other night. Take that, Elon Musk. Exactly. Mad greenhouse effects in Massachusetts with all this weed. I wish the EPA would go after you individual cat delete offenders. Target the individual. See how long that lasts. John Lund has a very good point. It's easy to go after a company because you can then say, well, you guys must be making good money. According to your tax status, you've made 7, 8, 10 million. So you can afford a $500,000 or $1 million fine. Hey, EPA, let me ask you a question. How much money will allow me to pollute? Again, every time you catch some motherfucker doing something, you fine them. Well, okay, so that means you allow a certain amount of pollution for a certain amount of money. So let's say I say, shit, I can do 17 DPF deletes a week. That costs this much. The EPA is going to find me this much. I could swing it, motherfucker. Here you go. Will you allow that if they become a cash cow and give you up to $1 million a year in fines? Or will you say, nah, you should go out of business? Okay, so now you are causing an injury. That'll go all the way to the Supreme Court. That if you as a government is not allowing someone to stay in business because let's say the bulk of their business is oil changes, tire changes, and suspension kits, but then you find them for some DPF stuff or you find them for some tuning stuff. Now you're causing them to go out of business for something that was maybe 5% of their business, but you're finding them 400% of what they earn based on that 5% of the business. Do you see how stupid that fucking is? Someone needs to make it make sense because there has to be an amount of money that is allowable, that allows you to pollute because that's how the EPA is operating. Cleaner will act when it's too late. Dakota was, it was fit. Okay, good evening, everyone. People telling me the fucking temperature in their state. I'm trying not to get shot staying here in Gary tonight, Cook County streetcars. Hey, I'm a third Camaro owner. They rated Alex Fast and Furious style. AR-15 and tunes, right. 1996 Escape from LA, soon to be all of us. Even Yellow Douchebag is better than the clowns we have now representing us. Junior building Lego cars. Gray area equals when your cat... What? When your cat gets stolen. Cruise ships roll coal. They are giant 16-cylinder engines. Evan Stevens and Certified Performance are putting in a Midnight Trans and Circle D's max effort converter, which is a Force E. Well, I need any tune adjustments. Finally, trying to go fast ESS dig car. Honestly, Ron Lowenberg, what you should do is just data log the car. Evan Stevens knows what he's doing, so just he's gonna get the fluid level right. Everything's good. It might shift a little firmer, and then we might have to send you a tune revision for a super duper derp shifting stuff with clutches. But for now, just log it, see if there's any issues, and you might need to tweak some shift pressure stuff or just anticipation stuff a little on the earlier side. Cruise ship engines are like 110,000 cubic inch or something crazy like that. Bunch of self-snitching aka Stamo. It's getting there, Harley. We will see how the stock axles. Okay. Industry Rats, YSL, thank you. Young Thug, shout out to Tony. Tony cracked out the corner. Whatever Epstein was doing in the SEMA needs to do. Right. Epstein didn't go... His wife went to jail for what? Like prostitution or child prostitution or human trafficking or whatever. So why aren't there any list of people that were doing it on the island? Where are those people? Why did this woman go to jail? A nice posh jail, by the way. Why did Epstein suicide himself? in a jail cell, and not one motherfucker. I gotta get that Dan Pena sound clip. Dan Pena, not one motherfucker. Not one motherfucker. Let me see.
Elon Musk
Jesus Christ.
and of the people teaching.
But anyway, when he says not one motherfucker in the prospectus. And Dan Pena, best motivational video ever. There you go. Global warming is a scam. Oh, whoa, no sound. Anyway, I got to get that part where he says, not one motherfucker. I got to get it on a sound clip and then go from there because it's really good. I don't even know where I was going with that, so who cares? The Captain Joe reference in Waterworld kills me. Diesel's work on are 10,320 cubic inches. Yeah, when the crackheads. Okay. Punishable by fine means legal for a price. EPA wants votes. The polluter cam membership tax credits for polluters. Axles more. Okay, Ron Loberg's talking about his ESS kit. We're talking about EPA stuff. He's out there talking about his fucking axles. When you have enough money, you're untouchable. Money equals power. Dan is so mad all the time. I get it, but damn. Dan sounds like he'd say, you don't even call me Godfather. You know, you come... Godfather Baker scene. Right? Because he was talking to the baker. And it's not Enzo the baker. Godfather. You know, Google is terrible as a search engine. Baker scene. Google is terrible for like finding video. Opening scene, Godfather. You don't even come here and call me Godfather. You come here and you ask for
money. I ask you for justice.
You don't ask for justice.
My daughter's to be married and you think to come.
I love The Godfather. Godfather is life. Exactly. Anyway, I think someone in the industry has to be a fucking... Look, unfortunately, the people that are best suited to argue our case against the EPA are coarse, say fuck every other word, but also have a lot to lose. So I would love to get up there and talk my shit because I am compelling. I am well-spoken. I can put sentences together that make sense. I can challenge the people that are setting these laws, and we can go ahead and have a back and forth. But the problem is it's going to become a bickering fest. I'm going to say, well, what about this? What about that? And this is what they'll say. We're not here to deal with whataboutisms. We're talking about your industry. And I would say, well, you're not applying the same logic to our industry that you're applying to the cruise line, the airlines, railroads, anything. Like, you are not applying, it's equal application of the law. And if you have a skewed application of the law, and let's talk about the law, how it is interpreted, because in 2015, the interpretation changed. What is stopping government from changing their interpretation of the law yet again to fit their current narrative? Because let me ask, what happened between 1972 and 2015 that the application was about the same? Then Obama comes in and you guys rewrite shit retroactively. Then a couple of diesel manufacturers stuck their fucking foot up their own ass by literally having emissions defeating devices via the OBD2 or the CAN bus. Like literally emissions defeating, and that started a snowball effect, and shit flows downhill. And we're beneath that. We're getting it now. Volkswagen got it, and what did they do? They paid a fine, a massive fine. Why didn't they get put out of business after seeing that they were on purpose defeating emissions with their vehicles? No, they paid a fine and they were able to keep going. So how much can I pay the EPA to pollute? That's the question. Stupid. Dude, my ADHD, I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm I'm upgrading from a twin 65 throttle body to a Whipple 170 monoblade 148 housing. Built bottom to opinions on throttle body. Yeah, no, fuck that throttle body. Get Kenny Bell 168. Fuck that throttle body. Throttle body sucks. You're welcome. His suits cost more than my cars. I found my own exhaust just waiting for my Sema sticker to stay legal. Gotta get out of here. Hope everyone has a good new year. Yes, Ron Lohnberg. Josh Roy says, come get your Sema certification, then come join our drive. Yes. Thank you, Josh Roy. That is the other thing. Sema needs to be the one that gets the third degree from people like me. Sema, let me ask you a question. Do you support drag and drive events? Yes, we believe that the grassroots derp of the diddle derp can Sherpa derp the Serpa Serp. And then we really want people to have a, father and son and camaraderie and shut up, stupid. Those cars have emissions and they're driving 1,000 miles through the fucking countryside. And then you're saying, oh, no, the RPM Act only allowed cars to become race cars only and not be driven on the street. In the same breath going, look at this 1,100 horsepower Camaro with hood fucking exits on their fucking turbos. So you don't have any idea what the fuck you're talking about. Does one arm of the Sema promotion know what the other arm is doing? Because PRI is also promoting drag and drive events. And then they're saying, by the way, you shouldn't be able to drive these cars modified on the street, off-road only. Oh my God. Do you think people bolt their cats back on their cars when they go driving from track to track and drag and drive events, motherfucker? Stop it. Oh, thank you. Second Shift Racing. I love him. He's good people, man. There's not that many good people in the world, but Second Shift Racing, one of those good people that just gets every fucking thing I'm trying to say.
Not one motherfucker. Not one motherfucker.
Right. Not one motherfucker.
Not one motherfucker.
Not one motherfucker in Sema knows what the fuck is happening. They might say they do. They might sit there and go, oh yeah, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Did you hear what Alex said on his live stream? He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Wait, what? We supported drag and drive events? We did? Cars were driving on the street without catalytic converters? And we said that's cool? Let me go to Sema's Instagram. Let's see how retarded Sema's Instagram is. Oh, Instagram. Because we did that with Chevy last time and they took down a thing, but then they put it back up. So let me type in Sema. Sema. I'm not going to show it because you guys are psycho. Sema show. Okay. Sema show. Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. So if the car's at the Sema show, it has to have catalytic converters, right? Like everything at Sema has a cat, right? Like anything at Sema that is, let's say, built after 1972 has to have a catalytic converter. Oh, they're smart. They got old junk up in here. Oh, that one's not old junk. Chevelle. I want to see engine pics, Sema. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Oh, I get it. But that is a factory 5 repop, right? And there's a lot of smoke happening, Sema. And look, right here, I don't see a catalytic converter. Okay. Oh, Alex, it's off the road. Okay, so this is some fucking Integra. I wonder if this has a cat. I don't know. Who knows if it has a cat or not? Not sure. This Mustang. Whose Mustang is it? Air Ride. Can I know what mods are done to it? I'd love to know what mods are in it. I'm sure every single one of their vehicles at their show had 100% as built emissions components still active in their shit, right? Hey, look at this. A Ferrari engine in a Scion at the Hoonigan Complex in the Sema show. Instagram. I wonder if that has catalytic. Do you see what I mean? You see what I mean? Like you can't sit there and say that you're going to be the arbiter of what is legal and able to be built and done, and in the same breath promote shit that we tune. Promote stuff that we deal with. Race car shit. Modifying stuff. Modifying the ECU. You think those cars have a stock as built ECU? No? So Sema, do any of the cars that go on your show have tunes in them? Stop it. It's all about money and fines. Man, Cletus had no chance. A bunch of houses means a lot of property tax. Nothing. Wow, where are you? You're like 40 minutes. Hit the live button. Hit the live button on your thing. No motherfucking world upside down like the turfster. Fastest way an agenda falls apart. Multiple narratives from one organization. It's not one motherfucking cat. How many cats do you think? How many cats do you think were in the Sema show? Catalytic converters.
Not one motherfucker.
I don't know. I think. Okay, how many stock ECUs were at the Sema show?
Not one motherfucker.
Not one motherfucker. And then you're going to tell how many people are going to pay the fine? How many people are going to become a member of Sema show so that they can tune?
Not one motherfucker.
Exactly. So, fuck you with that shit. Seriously, forever. Sema self-snitch. Right. Remember, Turvey has more followers than PRI. Oh, shit. And Trigger Tap Power went way up in value. Who cares? You heard it here first. Engine swaps are good via Sema. Right. Got to get that not one motherfucker on the soundboard. I'm going to do it literally right now. I'm going to do it right now. Ford was selling early 2000 F-250 Power Stroke turbo diesels without a catalytic converter from the factory, if I am not mistaken. Streetcar. And they show Tom Bailey's Pro Mod, Steve Morris's Pro Mod, the Corvette Pro Mod. I mean, come on. I love Steve Morris. Seems like a good guy. That car was built after 1972. That car has a VIN number. That car has a 500 plus cubic inch twin 100 whatever the fuck's sticking out the side of the bitch, and he drives it around. I'm okay with him doing that. I want him to do that. But if Sema goes, look at this badass shit, I'm like, yeah, you don't want us to build that badass shit unless we go through the Sema program. And even then, will you allow us to build that kind of car if we pay you $500 a month? That means the EPA says off our shit. Hell, that's a great investment, Sema. If I can pay you $500 a month and I can build 500 Steve Morris style Caprice wagons that run sixes and I can drive on the street, that is a bargain. I will sign up. I will sign up tomorrow if you put that in writing, Sema. Listen up. If you put in writing, Alex, you could do whatever the fuck you want with this Sema membership. EPA will leave you the fuck alone and you'll be able to operate, and we got you. Because this funds the lawyers to tell Sema, to tell EPA to suck our collective dicks. Oh, you won't do that? Oh, that's really stupid. That sounded really stupid. It's impossible. Oh, it's really dumb to do that? No shit, pendejo. That's why we think it's bullshit. Rich Rebuild put an Alice in a Tesla. Wow. Off topic, but where'd you get Tony and how much? Looking for a Boston. Okay, I'll show you right now where I got him. Because Tony, my girlfriend was like, how much did you pay for Tony? I was like, it's $1,300. No, hold on. I'll look. Tammy's Beautiful Boston Terriers is the group. So I'm going to go to, here we go. So Tammy's Beautiful Boston Terriers on Facebook. I got them from her. And, she has some fucking super, super good looking Bostons up. She has a good little network of people that breed Bostons. Again, get this one. Just get it. You know why? The Haggerty dot. This dot right here, you can trace back their lineage to some of the first Boston Terriers, first ones that came around. And that is a very good bloodline if they have a Haggerty dot. So a Haggerty Boston is worth good dough. She has, adoptions. She's always posting stuff. Right there, look, Bostons are everywhere. So Tammy's Beautiful Boston babies. That's Jake's wife told me about them. I saw Tony in a video. She video chatted me with Tony, and I was like, bro, I want that fucking dog. And she delivered Tony to me. I trust what Turvey says over anything that comes out of PRI and Sema. Do you ever recommend a Boss 302 alternator? Sorry if it's random. That's a weird question. Yeah, I don't know why a Boss alternator. Maybe it's because of what, the pulley. I don't think that it's any better than a regular Mustang alternator, but maybe I'm wrong because I've been wrong many times. Then you can say cat delete all you want. Anyone else see John Jr. decline a 1,000 Facebook friend requests? He does that all the time. He leaves you in limbo. He literally leaves you in limbo because everyone wants direct access to their tuner. And people don't understand that tuners have lives too. So when you get us between 7 and 4 or you pay for remote track support, that's when we got you. But after that, we are with our girlfriends, wives, cars, dogs, parents, people. We are people too. So you can't just hit us up when it's convenient for you to say, hey, I need you now. So I pay you. So, 24/7 service. Do you do that to your butcher? Do you do that to your doctor? Do you do that to the person at the grocery store? Do you do that to the server at the restaurant? You hit him up when he's off hours to ask him about his job? No. So that's all he's trying to do. Keep that at a minimum. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So again, shout out to Brett and PFI Speed for putting out that video. I'm doing my best to get the word out there to educate the people as to what's going on and really do some critical thinking. I think critical thinking is missing from our industry. I think I have a clearer sight of what's happening because I don't do any extracurricular shit. My life is literally this. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't do anything that clouds my judgment. I live, breathe this. And when someone says something, I'd like to be as informed as possible. And once I get to know something, I just spew the information out to you guys. So hopefully you're up on, what's happening right now. So I'll put out that video. I highly suggest you go out there and check it out and see what he's got to say. Sema program, we got to talk about that shit because I'd love to get a hold of them and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I need to know specific, and it'll be adversarial. If the lawyer wants to call me live on this program, or we'll do a video chat, I'm not going to be, we're not going to fight or nothing, but I'm going to ask you those hard hitting questions that you have to answer. Can I drag and drive my 1,500 horsepower car through the streets without cats with the Sema program? And if he says, fuck no, and then I'm like, why the fuck should I pay you a goddamn thing? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back on Sunday. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to release the Fox body video. And then Saturday, I'm going to try to release the ZR1 video. Change the oil, did the spark plug change, and we'll do 60 to 130. Maybe some dyno stuff. We'll see. Tomorrow, there'll be the dyno stuff. We'll see if I can get on the dyno and see if it makes any fucking difference at all with the changes that I made. And I need to find a nice ending for the Fox body, and I want to probably do a dig run to the quarter-mile hit just to see what it does on the street. A couple of them just to see if it's well into the 11s or maybe a high 10. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back on Sunday. So if not, check out the videos tomorrow and Saturday for the ZR1 and Fox body. Once Keith Ray takes my motor apart, I'll get you guys content on that. I'm going to hit him up right now and say, hey, when you take the motor apart, can you please take video, as much video as possible and as many pictures as possible so that the fans can see what happened, if anything, to that motor. Happy New Year's. I'll see you guys. What is today? So when is New Year's? Let me see. Saturday. So I'll be on New Year's Day, Sunday in the morning, 9:30 a.m. for the Peasant Chat. Have a good rest of your night, guys. See you guys later. Bye.